Welcome, learners, to another deep dive. Today, we're stepping away from the usual, facts and figures. We're venturing into a different kind of territory, a landscape painted not with data, but, well, with shadows and some really chilling truths. We're going to unpack some truly unsettling real-life accounts, stories that really remind us how fragile our sense of security can be, and how darkness can hide right in plain sight.
Yeah, it's quite striking, actually, how these narratives, and they're pulled from various sources, reveal the really unexpected ways fear can manifest.
Yeah.
We'll look at, meticulously planned horrors from a serial offender all the way to the just inexplicable disappearance of a natural landmark.
Yeah.
Even the reality of a stalker. These are tales that kind of compel us to look closer at the world's hidden depths, aren't they? And question what we think we know.
Absolutely. So our journey into the unsettling begins in central New Mexico, in a small town with a pretty unique name, Truth or Consequences.
Right. Truth or Consequences. It was originally called Hot Springs, famously rebranded itself back in 1950. Some radio host offered to broadcast his show's 10th anniversary from the first town named after the program.
Sounds kind of quaint when you put it like that, but this a seemingly charming place would later become the chilling backdrop for truly unspeakable acts. And it even saw a noticeable population drop between 2000 and 2010.
Yeah, and that population drop, if we connect the dots, it might have a deeply unsettling connection to a man named David Parker Ray, born in 39, Belen, New Mexico. His early life was, shaped by a violent, alcoholic father who apparently gave him an adult magazine with violent images when he was young. Really disturbing.
That's awful.
Yeah, and this early exposure, combined with bullying in high school because he was socially awkward, it seemed to just intensify his personal problems, which were already pretty deep-rooted.
Okay, so after high school, he served in the Army as a mechanic.
That's right. Got an honorable discharge. But then, married and divorced 4 times, clearly struggled with lasting relationships.
Seems like it. And it was after his last divorce, that's when he started this project.
Exactly. He spent over $100,000 creating something he chillingly called the toy box.
The toy box. Just the name is creepy. What was it?
It was basically a modified semi-truck trailer, looked normal from the outside, but inside, a custom-built chamber of horrors. He spent a fortune soundproofing it, making it almost impenetrable, designed specifically to contain, terror.
Soundproofed. Wow.
Yeah. Inside, he installed an old gynecologist chair, modified it with leg restraints, turned something in for care into, an instrument of torment. One wall had this horrifying array of tools: whips, chains, pulleys, straps, clamps, surgical blades, saws.
Oh my God.
Even a portable generator for electroshock torture, and detailed diagrams, like a calculated approach to inflicting pain. And maybe the most disturbing part, the entire ceiling was a giant mirror.
A mirror? Why?
So victims were forced to watch their own torment, the level of planning. It just reveals a mind obsessed with total control and dehumanization.
That meticulousness is truly, truly chilling. And what he did there, the sources say from 1957 to 1999, he's believed to have kidnapped, tortured, and killed maybe up to 60 women and girls, mostly from Sierra County, New Mexico.
Up to 60. Yeah. And the acts described are, unspeakable. Many victims died from the torture itself, often before he even, intended to kill them.
Yeah.
He confessed to setting dogs on them, drugging them with sedatives, hallucinogens, just to heighten their terror.
For decades, how did this go unnoticed for so long?
It's horrifying. And his disposal method was just as calculated. He'd inject them with sodium pentothal and phenobarbital, his amnesia cocktail, he called it, designed to wipe their memories.
An amnesia cocktail.
Right. Then drive them to the desert, abandon them, and start planning the next abduction. His methods for getting victims were simple but effective: spiking drinks, impersonating a police officer. If his confessions hold up, the sheer number makes him one of the most prolific serial offenders in U.S. history. It's staggering.
And it finally ended in March 1999. He encountered Cynthia Vigil Aramilio.
Yes, Cynthia Vigil Aramilio, in the parking lot of the Blue Water Saloon. He posed as an undercover cop, got her into his car.
She must have thought she was going to the police station.
Exactly. But then the horror sets in as she realizes they're driving out of town towards Truth or Consequences, towards the toy box.
And once she was inside,
restrained in that chair, she wakes up to a pre-recorded message from Ray, a tape he made back in 1993. The tape described them as slaves, no more than dogs or animals, kept chained, used until he decided otherwise.
He recorded a message years earlier.
Years earlier. He even mentioned his lady friend, Cindy Endy. She later got 36 years for scouting victims and participating. The tape detailed how they'd be brainwashed with drugs to forget, boasted about no DNA evidence because they'd be bathed. It's pure premeditation.
That's next level evil, and the tape kept going.
Oh yeah. Disturbing rules, emphasizing they couldn't escape. A steel collar, padlocked, chained to the floor. He warned against fighting back, threatening to pull out teeth with pliers or fingernails.
Just sickening.
Claimed to use surgical instruments, capable of unimaginable torture. But then, this sick, manipulative twist, urging them to survive, be nice, keep your mouth shut, learn the rules, and survive. Reassuring them, lying, obviously, that nothing we plan to do will cause serious or permanent damage, and needles will always be sterilized. Just pure psychological warfare.
Unbelievable. How did Cynthia escape?
After 72 hours of just unimaginable torture, Ray left her with Cindy Hendy while he went to work. Hendy walked into another room and crucially left keys to the chains within Cynthia's reach.
A moment of opportunity.
A desperate one. A vicious struggle followed. Cynthia fighting for her life. She managed to grab an ice pick, plunged it into Hendy's neck. Hendy collapsed. Cynthia unlocked her chains, got out of the toy box, and ran. Ran to the nearest highway, still wearing that steel collar.
Incredible bravery. That was the end for Ray.
Her escape broke the case wide open. Police used her testimony, found the toy box, arrested Ray and Hendy. The investigation uncovered this shocking web of family involvement. Ray had videotaped some tortures.
Videotaped them.
Yes. One video from '96 led them to another survivor, Kelly Garrett, identified by a tattoo. Kelly revealed Ray's own daughter, Jessie Ray, was an accomplice. Drugged her drink. Ray had even slashed Kelly's throat. Dumped her, thinking she was dead. She survived, but police initially dismissed her story.
Dismissed her. How many others might there have been?
It makes you wonder. Ray took a plea deal in 2001, 224 years. But he died of a heart attack in 2002 during questioning about other potential crimes. Took secrets with him.
And the accomplices?
His daughter, Jessie Ray, served just 2.5 years. Released mid-2000s. And Cindy Hendy, the one who smashed a lamp over Cynthia's head during the escape attempt. Released on parole in 2019.
Released. After participating in all that.
Released. It really challenges your sense of justice, doesn't it?
It certainly does. Okay, let's shift gears. From that kind of calculated external horror to something maybe more intimate but just as disturbing. A horror within a family, within a community. This next story comes from a small town in the Midwest.
Right. A place where apparently an open secret festered for years beneath this tranquil facade. They even have a little chapel, a memorial to a family of 4, supposedly killed by transients who were never caught.
That's the official story anyway. Mom, dad, son, daughter, all killed in their sleep. A random tragedy.
Yeah, the kind of story a town tells itself. But the reality, known by many but not spoken aloud, is much darker. While it's true they died in their sleep, it wasn't random. On a Friday night, the family's 9-year-old daughter made dessert. Strawberry cream, Jell-O pudding.
Ah, okay. Just dessert.
Not just dessert. She secretly added a huge amount of NyQuil Max strength, enough to knock out her parents and her brother.
Yeah.
Deeply unconscious.
9-year-old. How?
The quiet planning is what's so unsettling. Once they were out, she went to the kitchen, got a big knife, and systematically cut the throats of her father, mother, and brother in their beds. The father was on the couch, didn't even scream.
This happened on a Friday night, and nobody knew.
Nobody knew until Monday afternoon, about 50 hours later, in a town where everyone knows everything, but also knows when to look away. That silence itself is disturbing.
Definitely. And what happened to the daughter?
Well, that's where it gets murky. Her fate is hotly disputed. 3 main theories, all terrifying. Theory 1. Simplest explanation, maybe. She took her own life after realizing what she'd done. And the whole thing was covered up to avoid media attention, scandal for the town.
But the narrator of the story didn't buy that.
Found it unlikely. Secrets like that tend to leak in small towns, right? Which suggests the truth might have been so awful, the cover-up was seen as absolutely necessary. Something worse than the murders themselves.
What could be worse? What's theory 2?
Theory 2 suggests that when the police broke in, the girl pretended to be the lone survivor. Then, maybe tried to attack the officers with the same knife. And one of them shot her.
A 9-year-old attacking police.
The narrator found that hard to believe, too. Why couldn't she be restrained? Why weren't EMTs called? And a cover-up seems difficult in that scenario.
Okay, so what's the third darkest theory? The one the narrator believes.
This one's grim. It posits the girl was already dead when police entered. She hadn't left the house for days. How did she survive? What was she eating? The theory is, she attempted to eat part of her father's body, became incredibly sick, couldn't keep anything down, even water. She's found dead, lying in her own vomit and feces. Starvation, illness after days alone with the bodies. And what lends this horrifying theory some weight? The 2 officers who found the scene. Both retired and moved out of town shortly after.
Just left.
Seemingly couldn't cope with what they saw. Suggests a level of horror beyond even a typical terrible crime scene, something that haunts you.
That's incredibly bleak.
Okay.
From human depravity, let's move to something truly inexplicable, a different kind of unsettling. This next account is from a hunter, Upper Midwest, late 90s.
Yeah, a seasoned outdoorsman. He stumbled upon a small lake he'd never seen before, in an area just recently open to hunting. It was an unusually warm day, so he stopped to rest by the water.
Sounds peaceful enough.
It didn't stay peaceful. He noticed a strange smell coming from the water. Really foul. Looked closer, and just below the surface, the face of a dead deer.
Okay, that's odd. Maybe it drowned.
That's what you might think. But as he walked around the lake, dead animals everywhere in the water, almost every local species, some he couldn't even identify. Many with no visible injuries, just a mass death event localized to this one lake. Utterly bewildering.
What could cause that?
That's the question, isn't it? He felt doubly uneasy, knew something was terribly wrong, so he carefully collected a water sample in a small glass vial. Wanted to get it tested, took it to a professor friend at a nearby university, someone he trusted, known for over 30 years.
Hoping for a scientific answer?
Exactly. The professor's reaction was initially just standard curiosity, but over time his tone changed completely. He got nervous, started urging the hunter to just forget about it, drop it.
Forget about it after seeing all that.
Right. And later the professor visibly avoided him in public. A 30-year friendship suddenly strained. Makes you wonder, what did he find in that water sample? What was so disturbing he couldn't share it, even with a friend?
Yeah, what secret could do that?
Ah.
Did the hunter ever go back?
He did. Years passed, about 3 years total. He couldn't shake it. He navigated back to that spot where the stinky, horrid pool of death had been, and the lake was gone.
Gone, like dried up.
Not just dried up, completely gone. Vanished. There were maybe tiny signs a body of water had been there, a slight depression maybe, but the lake itself, into thin air. Even his reliable map still showed the lake existed.
That's impossible. Lakes don't just disappear.
Exactly. It's a huge disruption of reality, right? It doesn't happen naturally. To fill in a lake that size in the middle of nowhere, make it look like it was never there. That takes immense organization, resources, equipment.
Someone made it disappear.
That's the chilling implication. The narrator, now an old man, is still baffled by it. He left a written account, the original map, urging anyone who finds it to keep your mouth shut and play nice. It just begs the question, who had the power and motive to erase an entire lake, and what secrets were buried with it?
Wow. That's a truly baffling mystery. Okay, finally, let's look at something more recent and maybe more personally relatable in its terror. From 2015, a listener was out jogging near her house, noticed a man looking at her.
Just a glance, right? Seemingly innocuous at first. She thought nothing of it, kept jogging, lost sight of him. Happens all the time.
But it wasn't just a glance.
No. And it's how these seemingly small things escalate that's so chilling. Hours later, middle of the night, she's woken up by car lights, passing back and forth on her quiet street.
Yeah.
Repeatedly.
That alone is unnerving.
Definitely. Then she sees him. The same man from the park gets out of the passenger seat, looks right up at her second-floor window, sees her looking back, and smiles.
Oh, that's terrifying. The recognition. He found her home.
Instant terror, absolutely. She quickly closed her blinds, obviously panicked. But later, she's woken up again by a light tapping sound on her window.
Her second floor window.
Her second floor window, meaning this man had somehow climbed onto the small roof area right outside her room.
How and why? What was he trying to do?
That's the terrifying question, isn't it? His intent. She managed to whisper to the police on the phone. They told her to move out of sight. Moments later, the tapping stopped. Then she heard a big thump. Him leaving the roof.
He just left.
By the time police arrived, he was gone. Vanished. They found only a rope and a small knife near where he might have climbed. No fingerprints, no trace of him or the accomplice driving the car.
A rope and a knife left behind.
Yeah. It leaves you cold, wondering how he got up there so quietly, what the rope was for. And what would have happened if she hadn't woken up when she did? The what ifs are just chilling.
Absolutely chilling. So today we've really delved into some dark corners, haven't we? Realities lurking just beneath the surface, the calculated evil of a killer like Ray, the unthinkable acts hidden within a family, the truly bizarre vanishing lake, and the silent, terrifying persistence of a stalker. Each story kind of peels back that layer of assumed safety.
Yeah, and what they really highlight, I think, is that the most profound horrors are often deeply human, or they're rooted in these mysteries that just defy our easy understanding. They really challenge our assumptions about safety, about normalcy, about the secrets that communities or even nature itself might be holding, forces us to confront the unexpected.
So what does this all mean for you, listening? Perhaps it just means acknowledging that beneath that comforting veneer of the familiar, there are always these layers of the unsettling, the unexplained, and sometimes the truly terrifying waiting to be uncovered. Recognizing that some questions, well, they don't have easy answers, and some truths are just deeply disturbing.
And that, learners, is our deep dive into the hidden shadows of the world.
Thank you for joining us on this rather unsettling journey today. We invite you to keep exploring these kinds of deeper questions and observations in your own world. Carefully, of course. Until next time.